So I think this game could have just been a DLC for the original, but no, they decided to make it the first game again, then add the Crystal Skull into it. And literally, the only reason I played this game was because of this series. Otherwise, I wouldn't play it. In fact, the only reason to play it is if you were somehow a fan of the Crystal Skull. And since there's only probably a few of those, you could consider this game pointless, but since there is some new content here, I decided to leave it at mostly pointless. There's actually two things I think the game added, which was good. Firstly, there's a mechanic of some characters having a black sword, which you need to collect a sword in order to fight them. Then, once you have the sword, you enter into this fighting animation where you can defeat them. And I think this actually does make the fights more engaging. And secondly, fighting with your fist is actually not hard this time. But things go downhill from here fast. The levels are incredibly short, and ultimately just not very engaging. And vehicle levels aren't short, but are annoying when you need to steal a very specific enemy car in order to destroy the, tougher enemy car, I guess. For the first attempt at a hub world, it's not terrible, but hard to navigate in story mode, since the game doesn't have glide studs or a minimap, and kinda just assumes you know where to go. And I didn't, where multiple times I had to look up a walkthrough on YouTube just to figure out where the next level was. And finally, the bosses. For some reason, the game is obsessed with making the bosses these massive monsters that didn't appear in the movies. But the worst one of these non-canon bosses is the quote-unquote Walter Donovan tornado. Where if you just get a bit too close to the quote-unquote tornado, you get sucked into the air. And I just got stuck there several times since when you respawn right into the quote-unquote tornado. Eventually I got free and defeated him, but the worst part was, I used the secret No Cut 5 extra to skip cutscenes, and apparently if you skip the cutscene after defeating him, the game glitches and you just go back in Hub World instead of going to the end status screen like you're supposed to. So I technically didn't beat this game's story either, but I think it still counts. In the end, the game is barely worth buying.